ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Here we go. It's our Friday edition. Thanks for being a part of it. Paul Swann, your host. You know what this is. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our producer this evening is Ben Anderson. He'll be extending his internship one final week next week. He's going to be co-hosting or hosting, depending on the day. I hear Luke Creasy's going to be in here with you on Tuesday next week. I'm excited to hear Luke back on the radio. And of course, Ben's been doing a fantastic job for us. So next week, tune in to Ben, as this is going to be his final week as an intern for us here. He's done a fantastic job. But before we continue, let's get the text line open. We'll do that this hour. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You know what else is coming to an end? We've got Colecats baseball. A couple more times on the radio. The Colecats are back in action tonight. They suffered the 3-1 loss against Danville yesterday. Game 3 is coming up tonight, 6:50 p.m. Going to be with Jason Toy and Woody Woodrum right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Danville's just good. They opened the game just like they did a couple of games ago. They opened the game. They took an early lead, had runners on the corners following a Micah Dean walk and a Michael Callan-Moss single. They take that 1-0 lead on an RBI ground out. Bottom of the first, following 2 quick outs, the Colecats did answer back as both Logan Petit and Chase Chaplin got walks. That led to Ryan Limerick tying the game with a single to left field. And Colecats pitching. That's one thing we can say about Colecats pitching. It's good when it's good. And for the Colecats starting pitcher Josh Paulina, the Moss single was the only hit allowed by Paulina during his 5 2/3 innings pitched. He did allow 4 walks. That's something that they've had to work on that for a while. Paulina earned twice as many strikeouts at the same time. He entered the game with 9 consecutive no-hit innings, and he exited with only 1 hit allowed. There was a little life. Colecats, bottom of the 3rd, showed a little life. But Danville would score in the 7th inning, had a couple of singles and a wild pitch, took a 2-1 lead. Bottom of the 7th, Chase Chaplin would hit a leadoff single for the Colecats. Another scoreless half inning kept Tri-State at a 1-run deficit. And then at the bottom of the 8th, Danville's Michael Callan-Moss would hit his 3rd home run of the series with a solo home run into left field. That gave Danville the 3-1 lead, and it's a final. Danville defeated your Colecats 3-1. As I mentioned, we'll have the game for you tonight right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Danville looks like they're going to win the East. I don't think there's anything stopping them mathematically. They look like they are locked to win the East. Colecats have no avenue to make postseason, but they still can finish with a winning record. There's enough games. They got to start winning tonight. They fall to 19-24. At the end of the day, though, the one thing we can say about Colecats baseball and this league is you want the team to win. Obviously, you want the team to win. But it is a developmental league, and that's what they're here for. Tommy Gregg, manager of the Colecats, talked about being impressed with Paulina's performance and his growth and maturity throughout the season. He did mention the struggles with the offense. He did highlight some instances where they struck out in situations that could have led to walks. He also emphasized in his post-game thoughts that the key focus for the rest of the season is going to be motivation, while the biggest issue facing the team, lack of concentration. Here's Tommy's thoughts.
I'm going to start out by talking about Joshua Paulina. The guy has been amazing this summer, the way he started to where he is now, giving us 6 innings. Struggled a little bit in the first inning and made an adjustment. The guy's just maturing and he's improving, and it's really cool to see a kid like that have an outing like he did against a pretty good hitting team. So I'm very proud of him. Offensive-wise, we're still just struggling. We had a lot of strikeouts and should have walked at least 75% of those strikeouts. We could have easily walk, chasing balls out of the zone. So just a little disappointing still in our offense, getting things going. Just trying to keep them motivated to the end of the season. You know, some guys have one foot out the door at this time of the year, and it's hard to get them motivated each day to come out here and play. You know, but they're still playing hard. I mean, they're not trying to lose. They're not giving a lack of effort. I think it's just a lack of concentration a lot of times, and so we'll come back out tomorrow, see what we can do.
Yeah, they're not trying to lose. They're not trying to lose at all. Now, Tommy did talk a little bit more about Paulina's success and his confidence and the fact that he's able to pitch for contact and trying to pitch away from hitters. And he noticed that his improvement in confidence has been evident on the mound. He's becoming better pitching as far as in the zone. You look at where he was at in the beginning of the season and now Tommy thinking that he's a lot better, especially pitching in the zone.
Well, he's just gained confidence. He has really good stuff. He's always had good stuff. I think the confidence factor of pitching to contact and trying to pitch away from guys, swinging the bat and making contact. Early in the year, he just didn't have his control, and when he did make a mistake, kind of got hit. So inevitably, he's trying to pitch away from contact all the time. But now, with Solomon, and I've talked to him and said, look, use that fastball, use your breaking ball for out pitches, and get contact early and stay around the zone, and hitters will go up there trying to swing, first few pitches. You're going to get quicker out, stay in the game longer, and then your confidence builds. And you can see it through the game. He was just effortless as far as throwing the ball and putting it really where he wanted to and reading swings. So it was just cool to see.
We got 2 games to go. 2 games in, 2 games to go. Tommy discussed what the Cats have learned and what they need to improve on.
Obviously just offense has got to pick up a little bit. A leadoff guy of every inning, he's got to work to try to get on base, and then we just got to move him around. It's really what baseball's all about, is getting the guy in the scoring position and getting him in. I don't know, some reason we just have an issue sometimes here, trying to hit the ball too hard. It's a big ballpark instead of playing small ball. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Like I say, it's an adventure every day. You never know. We might come out and get 15 hits tomorrow and score a bunch of runs. So hopefully we will.
We've got the game for you coming up tonight. 6:50, Jason Toy, Woody Woodrum. They've got it right here, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We mentioned the Cats are dead last in the East Division, 19-24. Bluefield is 19-22. Danville leads the way with 28 wins, 15 losses. And then the Burlington Sock Puppets are 23-20. And then Pulaski, the River Turtles, are 21-21. There could be a fight these last few days between who's going to get that second spot, but I think Danville's locked in the top spot in the East. West side, the Greenville Flyboys lead the way with a 26-15 mark. Johnson City's right behind them at 21-19. The battle's going to be between Johnson City and Kingsport. The Axemen are 21-21. And then rounding out the bottom, those Bristol State Liners at 16-25, and then the Elizabethton River Riders are 15-26. So we've got baseball for you tonight, baseball for you tomorrow. All of it right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And speaking of baseball, the Guardians got the loss yesterday. Fell to Detroit. Don't tell anyone that Spencer Atkins from Channel 13's a big Detroit fan, because he'll rub it in your face. His Tigers get the win, 3-0. Pittsburgh in action. They were off last night. They're in action tonight, taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll have that game immediately following Cats baseball. So Cats are coming up first, and then after that, we're going to have the Pirates for you, taking on the Diamondbacks right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Reds were off. They open up a series with Tampa Bay tonight, and that's coming up at 6:50. So plenty of baseball still on the radio. Stay tuned. We've got those Pirates coming up right after the Cats. Keep it locked. Just keep your radio locked right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We got some sad news I want to touch on before we continue. Longtime area prep college basketball coach Ron Reed passed away at age 79. He served as the boys basketball coach at Chesapeake, Lawrence County, Minford, Raceland, Rose Hill Christian, Russell, Frankfort, and Anderson County. He was the girls basketball coach at Russell and the men's hoops coach at Kentucky Christian, Ohio University Southern, and in Milligan, Tennessee, as well as an assistant at Ole Miss. He also coached baseball at McKell and football at Anderson County. graduated from Morehead State University, called the Harvard of the South. And he was married to his wife, Joan, for 55 years. They lived in Bellefonte, Kentucky at the time of his death. So I wanted to acknowledge that. Longtime coach Ron Reed passing away at age 79. It's Friday. Let's have some fun. We got Bengals news to talk about. We also will get your text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And we've got the text line. And also, I want to talk a little bit about what the NBA has gotten itself into with its deal and what TNT is trying to get itself into with its lawsuit. Plus, we will hear from, maybe, if we have time, our soon-to-be guest host next week, Ben Anderson. Sort of like a warm-up. Ben, are you ready? We're going to let you talk maybe a couple minutes during the end of the show. You ready? A little nervous? Warm up. We're getting you warmed up for Monday. We'll do all that when we continue, but the text line's coming up first when we continue here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Cats baseball, your last chances this week, Wednesday through Saturday. Saturday night, we say thanks and farewell with first pitch baseball being skydived into Jack Cook Field from Robert Newland Air Park's West Virginia Skydivers. A post-game party with the band Madhouse during the Orbit's Record Shop post-game concert series presented by the 1861 Public House and Kerber Beer Company. Your chance to say thank you for the team for a great season. Over 20,000 fans have watched great baseball this season. Dollar Dog Night Wednesday, $2 draft Thursday, skydiving, and a team farewell party Saturday with a team photo.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue is now in Milton. Enjoy all your favorite Buddy's classics like pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more on East Main Street in Milton. Buddy's All-American Barbecue, the home of great barbecue, ice-cold beer, and killer wings in Huntington and now in Milton.
We're David and Greg Figueroa, founders of Melinda's Hot Sauce.
Customers say we've ruined all other hot sauces for them.
So, we're sorry.
For rocking your world.
We're sorry we craft hot sauces from fresh, hot, flavorful ingredients, while other brands just use dried spice dust and vinegar. So a moment of silence.
Set your mouth on flavor with Melinda's Hot Sauces. Find them at your local retailer or online at melindas.com. That's MELINDAS.com.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Friday edition. I'm your host, Paul Swann, for today's Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Our producer, Ben Anderson, is filling in next week, so we're looking forward to hearing what he has to say next week about Marshall Athletics. He's already got some pretty good guests lined up. I know Luke's going to be the jewel crown. Yeah, he's going to be the crown jewel there. He's going to be the big one. But there's some guests he's got coming up. He's working on some things. Looking forward to it next week. Let's go to the text line. Texter says, Paul, what's one aspect of Marshall football that you used to really enjoy that you wish they bring back? Mine has to be either having Marco ride out the motorcycle during the team intro or having the homecoming parade on game day instead of a weekday. What do you think? I think the homecoming parade is one of those where it would be fun to have it on game day, but I get where you get tailgating going on and it might not be the priority for a lot of people. Plus, if you have it in the evening, maybe on a weeknight, a lot more people can maybe partake in it. I I don't know if that's one that would make a difference to herd fans. Maybe I'm wrong, but the homecoming parade on game day would be cool, but I don't know how many people would pay attention to it. I really enjoyed, and you can't do this with the way the shoey's built now, because you could, but you really can't. Now the team comes out from the ground level of the shoey, and when I was younger, I love how the team just came down the ramp. I mean, we're talking visuals here, semantics, but the herd would come down the ramp, and I did love the gigantic flag. I don't think the flag's as big as it used to be, but I did love the gigantic flag. That was one thing. I think one aspect of Marshall football that I really used to enjoy, we can't go back to, is I enjoyed the playoffs. And I know that's more of a divisional thing than a Marshall football thing, but I really enjoyed that. Just the whole idea of having that postseason, Marshall getting in. I like the intimacy of Fairfield. To be honest with you, I thought that Fairfield was, love it or hate it for what it was. It was the Herd's home for a long time, and I like the intimacy. I would not go back to it. Absolutely not. I think I enjoyed tailgating more on Prindle Field. I think tailgating was more fun then on Prindle than it is now. Your mileage may vary if you remember both. I might be going back a little too far for folks, but I just feel like it was better then as far as the intimacy of it. It was right there. You could just walk the field and you could tailgate. It feels so sectioned off now. I mean, you got the West lot where people are tailgating, and then you got tailgates that are just like spread all over parking lots and businesses across campus. You've got maybe a spot here or two. I just liked it at Prindle more, only because everything was right there. It kind of felt like, it felt college. Tailgating at parking lots, local businesses, while you got to work with what you got, it just doesn't feel as college to me. I mean, you go to universities that have on-campus facilities and people are tailgating on campus, and here at Huntington, you're tailgating on the West lot. And I really don't know what the atmosphere is going to be like, because they're putting a little bit more fencing up. We're going to talk about that sometime a week or so. When I get back, I've got a couple of things in the works. I want to make sure that everybody knows what game day is going to be like. So we got a couple of things in the works, but I did see where the fencing's starting to go up. I was actually over there near the football stadium today, and I was seeing some of the fencing go up. I don't know what that's going to make the atmosphere like a little bit, just to push out the perimeter of the stadium a little bit more. How's that going to work as far as getting people checked in? And, of course, that's why when I come back after next week off, we'll have a couple of conversations about that, what you can expect, how that process is going to work. It works. You go into an NFL stadium, they do that to you already. It works. They have different types of perimeters, but we adapted to it. We got used to the clear bags, making sure that we go through the checkpoints. So welcome to college athletics 2024. All that's going to change. And I think that's maybe a short list of things. The one thing I hate to say this, but I hate those end zone seats. I have always hated those end zone seats that they put in, especially the erector set that they're taking down. I liked having just the grassy knoll, and I liked having the fans there. It was fun. It was just a great little picnic area there, open seating. You could probably bring a blanket. You could sit there, watch the football game. I know it was probably a little too close for comfort for some, but I miss that a little bit. And I'm sure that there are a whole bunch of things that you miss that we're not even touching on. So we'll open the text line up, 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. Not to be snarky, but one aspect of Marshall football that I used to really enjoy that I wish they bring back, the winning. Just to be snarky, it was fun. It was fun to go to a game on a Saturday and feel like Marshall was almost always going to win. I mean, it's always fun to go to the game on Saturday, but it was nice. Marshall for a while was having such a run that we got spoiled a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you, we got spoiled a little bit. I wouldn't trade where Marshall's at now for anything, but it was fun back then. I like the Sun Belt. I like where Marshall's at right now. I hope Coach Huff can get it going. I really do. I think he's got a good year at least to get it to where it needs to be. And to give him credit, he definitely came in and he had to change a lot of culture and change a lot of things about the football program. And this wasn't going to be an easy fix. I never anticipated this to be an easy fix. I'm not making excuses for anybody. He wouldn't want me to. He's not asking for me to do. But I think this was more than a one-year turnaround. And hopefully, year 4, we kind of see what it looks like now. 304-396-TALK, 396-8255. Have you been following along with what's going on with the NBA? All the money they're going to make with Walt Disney, NBC, Comcast, and Amazon Prime, and how many NBA games are going to be, and where all the playoffs are going to be. And, of course, Charles Barkley is not going to be a part of any of that unless he decides to come out of retirement after next year and work for one of the three. We'll break it down. What does this 11-year NBA media rights contract deal mean? And then what was the package that TNT thought it could go after? Which one did it think it could match? We'll do that when we continue. We'll get your text in as well. I'm your host, Paul Swann. This is The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Let the good times roll. Downtown Huntington's premier weekly music event is back. It's Mount West Ninth Street Live, presented by New Trail, Garage Beer, Big Truck, The Beast, La Marca Prosecco, and Matua's Sauvignon Blanc. This Friday, it's Xfinity High-Speed Internet Night with William Matheny and Ginger Wicks. Music starts at 7 on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Go-Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Mark your calendar for Friday, August 2nd, when 9th Street is Dead, featuring John Ingram's Dead Center and the music of the Grateful Dead. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 16th. 9th Street Live is driven by Yes Chevy, Yes Ford every Friday night through Labor Day. 9th Street in Huntington between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Marshall OBGYN, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Impact Media, Xfinity High-Speed Internet, One Way Septic and Rent-A-Can, and Kendrick Communications.
We're David and Greg Figueroa, founders of Melinda's Hot Sauce.
Customers say we've ruined all other hot sauces for them.
So, we're sorry
For rocking your world.
We're sorry we craft hot sauces from fresh, hot, flavorful ingredients, while other brands just use dried spice dust and vinegar. So a moment of silence.
Set your mouth on flavor with Melinda's Hot Sauces. Find them at your local retailer or online at melindas.com. That's MELINDAS.com.
Hey you, I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber, more laxatives, more of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think you would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Friday show. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Sports season is almost upon us as far as the round ball is concerned, and we got a little ways to go, but NBA season is going to be right around the corner, and we got one more year with TNT, and then after that, it's done, and it's going to go to Walt Disney, and that means ESPN. We got NBC, Xfinity, Comcast. We got Prime Video going to be taking over the NBA package. And, of course, we're going to have legal drama. I love sports legal drama. It's almost my favorite kind of legal drama. I don't know if you could have a television show that is just sports legal drama the way you have procedurals on TV, but if you could, I would watch that. Because TNT is going to be stirring up the pot for the next year or so, because they tried to go after the Amazon Prime package, and the NBA said, nope, that is not a comparable bid. Yes, the money's the same, but that is not a comparable bid. And so, thank you. We reject your bid. And so, here we are. What does the NBA get? First of all, if you've looked at this, if you're a big fan of the NBA, Walt Disney, ESPN, let's call it what it is. Regular season games, they're going to get 80 games on that Walt Disney platform. And that's going to be games on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Christmas, and then the last day of the season. So those are some big key moments there. NBC is going to have, and this is, again, just your Comcast affinity. This is your NBC platform. 100 regular season games. And those games are going to be on Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday. And then there's Prime Video. So if you have Amazon Prime, like a lot of us do, 66 games. And those will be on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we have talked about how this stuff is going more and more towards digital platforms. It's moving away. I mean, there's still something. There's still a sense of having your games on broadcast television. There's just nothing better. I don't care which sport we're talking about. There's just nothing better. Now, of course, there's the cable component of that as well. And, a lot of people, there are people who don't have cable anymore. They've cut the cord. But you can get an antenna, hook it up to your TV, and you can have the ball game right there. It's easy. It's simple. You can get really inexpensive antennas, believe it or not, on Amazon, where you can watch some of those games. But for $2.6 billion, 80 regular season games to Walt Disney, playoff games, they get 18 games in round 1 and 2. They get 10 of the 11 years of the conference finals. It's an 11-year deal. So 10 out of the 11 years, they get one of the conference finals. And they get the finals. That's the big thing. And, of course, this is going to be on all of the platforms. Now, NBC dropped $2.5 billion for 100 regular season games. And that includes 28 games in round 1 and 2. And that includes 6 of 11 years of conference finals. And that's going to be shared with Prime and Amazon. They get a third of the games in round 1 and 2. Then they get 6 of 11 years of conference finals. Finals are exclusive to Walt Disney, the ESPN, and ABC platforms. Here are the extras that they get. ABC, ESPN, Walt Disney, they get the draft, they get the draft lottery, and they get the Summer League. NBC gets the All-Star Game. And Prime Video gets the in-season tournament, and they also get Summer League. So the Summer League is going to be split between 2 different platforms. That's what they get. Now, TNT had an exclusive negotiation period, and TNT really, Walt Disney, NBC, and Prime Video had strong entries. But Warner Brothers Discovery, dropped the ball so hard on this, and now they're going to sue. Why did you drop the ball on this? Because you thought that you could call the NBA's bluff? They botched this so terribly because of how they negotiated. Warner Brothers is arguing that the matching rights applied to Amazon's portion of the package because the e-commerce giant was set to receive the assets it held. They're saying basically, hey, that's our package. So we're bidding on our package. But they dropped the ball on this so terribly. It kind of reminds me of the way that Conference USA would negotiate for TV packages. Weren't very good. Here's what happened here that led to their downfall. I just find this so fascinating. First of all, and a lot of this has been reported across the board, so you might have seen this here or there. First of all, the Athletics' Andrew Marchand reported that it was Warner Brothers Discovery that actually suggested the NBA begin negotiation with Amazon because of the digital aspect. So, the NBA was like, okay, that's a good idea. And then Warner Brothers kind of felt like, the NBA is kind of asking for a little bit more of the key, kind of moving the goalposts. And Bill Simmons reported some of that. It didn't seem to bother Disney because Disney worked with them to get the deal done. But I really think what happened here was that Amazon wasn't what the NBA thought TNT was going to go after, for one, because it's a different package. And TNT's coming up and asking for this package because, we got Max. I guarantee you right now, more people have Amazon Prime than they do Max. Max is great. You want to watch House of Dragon? You want to watch the show about the dragons? The Game of Thrones show? You can watch it on Max, okay? Yeah, Max. Amazon Video, Amazon Prime, you have that because most of you probably have Prime. We're all shopping on Amazon these days. If you don't have it now, you will eventually. The whole world eventually will be Amazon. And so the media package was just so much bigger. The potential. It's sort of like the WWE and their Netflix deal. Once they hit Netflix, they'll reach 80% of the globe. And it was funny, Charles Barkley was shooting back for a little while. I think he's not happy with the way that TNT kind of handled this. Honestly, it came down to, I think the NBA was ready to be done because David Zaslav, he's the guy in charge, Warner Brothers Discovery president and CEO. I don't know if you know who Zaslav is, but he said early on when he took over, we don't have to have the NBA. We don't have to have the NBA. That's like, I don't know, that's like Fox saying, hey, we don't have to have the Big Ten. That's like ESPN saying, hey, we don't have to have the SEC. That's like NBC coming out going, we don't have to have Notre Dame. We'll be fine. That's a mistake. But Barkley's actually been jumping on their backs, but he also jumped on the NBA a little bit. Barkley's just mad. Chuck's leaving. He's going to say, Chuck's going to be fun to watch this year because Chuck's just not going to care. What are they going to do, fire him? Yeah, what are you going to do, fire me? I'm out the door after this. What are you going to do, fire me? That's what management's probably worried about me. Like, okay, we're going to know when Swann's out the door because he's just going to say things. How do you really feel, Paul? Yeah, you might hear that once, and then I'm probably going to be yanked out of here. Set the recorders for that day. No, that day won't happen. I'm not like Charles Barkley. But Chuck says it like it is, and he doesn't care. Our producer, Ben Anderson's like hoping, like, hey, come on, say it like it is, Paul. Say it like it is. I think he's angling for my job here. I don't know. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're wrapping up your Friday edition of The Drive, getting you set for the weekend right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Have you had your septic tank serviced lately? For a free-flowing system, it's vital to get your septic tank serviced every 3 to 5 years. Call One Way Septic today, 304-429-5218. That's 304-429-5218. Online at onewayseptic.com. One Way Septic offers septic services in West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio, both residential and commercial services. Septic tank pumping, old system repairs, grease trap cleaning. There's only one way for top-notch service. It's One Way Septic, 304-429-5218.
Save big on your next landscaping project now at Menards. We're your destination for concrete landscaping blocks. We have the largest in-stock selection, ready to take home today. Plus, get free estimates fast using our landscape design program in store or on Menards.com. Save big on all landscape blocks at Menards, America's #1 home improvement retailer for customer satisfaction according to J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Save big money at Menards.
The Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe heard what you're craving and is here to satisfy your appetite for value. Introducing the All Mine for $10.99 menu for a limited time only at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Enjoy bottomless Fiesta Bravo chips and salsa, your choice of a chicken sandwich, or a Hall of Fame cheeseburger, fries, and a drink for only $10.99.
All that for $10.99?
No, all mine for $10.99. No rules, any day, anytime. All mine for only $10.99 from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue in downtown Huntington.
Hey, it's Lex and Terry, K&B Pest Control, locally owned and operated in Huntington, West Virginia, serving the tri-state.
Man, these guys are great. They do residential and commercial, indoor, outdoor, free estimates. These guys are the best, I'm telling you.
This is when the critters come out. High customer ratings, satisfaction guaranteed, large fleet, crew, meaning same-day appointments, and quick service.
All you got to do is pick up your phone and call Patrick, the owner. Okay, that's what you got to do. Or Becca. They're standing by to take care of you guys. It's knbpestcontrol.com online. And give them a call, man. They got a great Facebook page. Go ahead and like it. They got a phone number. We'll give you that. Why not? It's free. 304-523-4281.
Or go to knbpestcontrol.com. They will tell you what everything looks like, what you're looking for, if you're getting a pest problem, and get on top of it. They're the best. Make sure you call Patrick once again, who is very passionate about his pest control, or Becca. K&B Pest Control. They'll kill for your business.
Trust the guys with over 40 years of experience at K&B Pest Control.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're wrapping up today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Ben Anderson, our producer. We got some updated information now on the House settlement, NCAA House settlement that came out not that long ago. So now we got the landmark settlement agreement. It's here. The NCAA and the Power Conferences filed their 100-plus page long-form agreement in the settlement of 3 antitrust lawsuits. So now we're going to have, it's here, athlete revenue sharing, expanded scholarship to full rosters, and we're going to have arbitration overseen by the courts. All of this is going to start 2025-26 academic year, next summer and fall. There's going to be back pay. It's going to go to an estimated 19,000 football and men's basketball players. Many of them are from the power conferences. That's going to be about an average of 120,000 per player over the 10-year period, or 12,000 a year. Good news, you've just got yourself a nice little kickback. And this is going to, I'm sure, play into how revenue is going to be distributed going forward. And this, of course, is the NCAA and the then 5 power leagues. There's going to have there's going to be a lot of questions, I'm sure. So we're going to have third-party NIL and arbitration. We're going to have, I think, roster adjustments that are going to maybe either help the bigger schools or kill the smaller schools. I mean, there's so much to go over here. Let's go over the one thing that we can talk about, I think, with a little authority right now. More than 750 additional scholarship spots are opening up. So scholarships are going to go to full rosters of each sport. There's going to be restrictions on scholarships, no more. It eliminates them. However, you change the scholarship restriction, and now you have roster size limits. That's going to be the difference. So we're not going to restrict scholarships anymore, but we're going to restrict size limits. So this takes place in 25-26 season, and you're permitted to offer a scholarship to each player up to the new roster limits, and they're looking at possibly a crazy number. Like, for example, football, 85 right now. Scholarship restrictions, 85. But now you're going to have a roster limit of 105. 105, and you're going to have a pretty much a 20 scholars increase for schools willing to give maximum benefit. So you go from scholarship restriction of 85 to a roster limit of 105, and all 105 could get scholarships. Baseball has get this, you didn't know the exact number. Baseball has a scholarship restriction of 11.7. Yeah, you split that out. I'm using Ben as my surrogate right now because every time his face looks at me like, really? I didn't know that. I'm going to use Ben as my surrogate. Yeah, Ben, what they did, they would divide them up. You wouldn't just get a full scholarship. You would get a portion. Sort of like financial aid just about. You know, you're not getting a full ride paid for. But now you can have a roster of 34 and a 22.3 scholarship increase. That's the example used by Yahoo Sports. Schools are not required to distribute scholarships to each player. That's the big thing. If you can do it, you're going to. If you can't do it, obviously, you're not. Now, those that are not defendants in the settlement case, those are schools and conferences which are in the group of 5, FCS, and non-football playing Division I programs are bound by the roster limits, reporting system, and enforcement mechanism only if they choose to share revenue with athletes. They can opt out of the new model if they decline to share revenue. And no sport saw a reduction in scholarship spots. I mean, that's the thing. You're increasing opportunity. So we're not going to reduce scholarships. And if you opt into this, you're going to have to go by the rules that are set forth. Say Marshall, for example. Could you imagine Marshall trying to recruit when a school that's in one of these power leagues can offer 105 roster spots, and if they can fund it, they can back it up with a scholarship for each spot. There are a lot of kids that leave in the transfer portal, and part of that is because Marshall's not able to give them a scholarship, like their preferred walk-on, or they're on the roster but they're not under scholarship. And so there are a lot of kids that leave that they could stay, but Marshall didn't have the opportunity to give them a scholarship spot. So now Marshall could either say, yes, okay, we're gonna do everything we can to do this as well. And that could be something that could help. But at the same time, there are going to be a lot of programs that say, look, we can't do that. We can't do that as it is. So I think you're going to see it become a little bit more top-heavy. I think you're going to see programs that are going to struggle to try to match this. And a lot of schools are already planning to spend more money trying to match this. All it is what? A few more $1 million, few more, and that's not even going to mean the NIL opportunities. But some of that could count towards the annual revenue sharing cap. So that could be this part of it. Like, hey, look, we got revenue sharing. You're going to get a scholarship. That could come. And some of that also could be if you can afford it. Okay, look, we're going to share revenue and we're going to give you a scholarship. Some programs can't do that. You could see, honestly, you could see a loss. I'd hate to see this, but wouldn't it be a shame if you saw a loss of sports at some institutions? You could see salary cuts as well. You could see a lot of programs falling behind to try to keep up and trying to afford this. Like, for example, and I got a great chart on Yahoo Sports. I'm going to reference that. Basketball, the new limit for men's basketball is 15. So old roster limit was 13. Now it's 15. So you got an increase of 2. Nothing changes for women's basketball. Women's basketball was at 15. Now it will continue to be at 15. But the roster limit for men's basketball goes up to 2. That's an easy one. Cross country, the old limit was 5. New limit 17. So that's a 12-spot increase. And women's goes from 6 to 17. I mean, Marshall could explode at track and field right now. Or some of the power schools could gobble some of those pretty good diamond in the roughs that you normally wouldn't take, but you could take them as well now, fill it out a little bit more. Or the bigger just get even bigger. Football, as we mentioned, 20 increase. Golf goes up from 4.5 to 9. For men, 6 to 9. And other sports like soccer, men, 9.9 to 28. You think Chris Grassi is going to have a field day with this? He's going to work his magic. They're going to be programmed. And you can see, and I don't think that's I'm not directing this at Marshall, but you could see programs go, okay, you know what? What's our priorities here? Okay, our priorities are going to be football. We got to make sure football's fully basketball, men's and women's. Okay, we got to make sure that, that's taken care of here. Okay, we can do this stuff, but we're going to have to cut back on some things. We can match this stuff, but we're going to have to cut back. So, okay, what are we spending our money on? We're spending it on football. We're spending it on basketball. We are spending it on baseball. If you're Marshall, we're spending it on baseball. We're spending it on soccer. We're spending it on softball. The rest of you, good luck. That's an extreme. That's an absolute extreme here. But there could be some cuts. There could be some shuffling. And there could be some creative ways to make all of this work. So again, if you're a school that's a group of 5, you're an FCS or a non-football playing Division I program, you are bound only if you choose to share revenue with athletes. You can opt out if you decline to share revenue. So you come to Marshall, hey, you share revenue? Nope. Oh, that's too bad. There's going to be a lot of student athletes that decide to take that path and a lot that maybe don't. It's going to depend on what the institution is planning and what the ruling means for programs that are in the Sun Belt, and we'll see. Not many programs can afford to do that. You could see a increase in some sports. You could see a decrease in other sports. Next week, our guest host is going to be Ben Anderson. He's going to take over the chair for a few days. You already got Luke Creasy coming in. That's going to be fun. I love hearing from Luke, so he's going to come in and be on with you. You can talk now, Ben. You got your headphones on. You can talk now. You can talk. So you got Luke Creasy coming in. Who else is coming in?
Well, you got Brad Dingus, the head coach of Spring Valley football, on Monday.
Okay.
And Kevin Richardson, the Ironton Middle School track coach for former Ironton Middle School runner Mackenzie Long, who will be competing in the Olympics in Paris, and he will talk about Mackenzie Long on Wednesday.
Okay, cool. Luke's on Tuesday.
Yeah, Luke Creasy's on Tuesday, and still working out for things Thursday and Friday, and potentially having Tommy Gray come on the show next week as well to talk about the Tri-State Coldcats inaugural season.
Okay, and then, of course, we'll open the text line up for everyone next week as well, so take good care of Ben. He's going to be our fill-in host next week, his final week of his internship, and we're going to turn the show completely over to him. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you a week from Monday. Ben Anderson taking over the chair for just a week. He's going to keep it nice and warm for us and keep it warm for you. And then I'll be back with you on August 5th. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be right ready to go for football season. I think we're going to have a great season. Not only on the air, I think we're going to have a good season. Positive thoughts, everyone. Positive thoughts. That's going to do it. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you a week from Monday. You can find me on X, though. I'm not disappearing. I'm not going away. You can find me there at Paul Swann. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.
Retransmitting in glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.